shuffle. A very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this, your church, a Paul Christian Spiritualist Church. So wonderful to see so many people who've attended church today to receive healing and to be part and actually create this time together with your energies. So thank you for all attending. And a very warm welcome to those friends watching us online. I am aware that we are being watched in Sweden and Denmark. So welcome. How wonderful is that? Today is all about healing. We are having these healing services, changing our formats of our services. All the details are always available on our website as to what sort of service we hold. Healing has become very much to the fore. Obviously at this time where we are slowly, I won't say coming back, we are slowly creating where we're going forward. The interest and the need for healing has never been so greater, so I'm just so pleased with our wonderful healing team here in Paul that we're allowed to continue to embrace that, support that and make it grow, so that's beautiful. Before I go into the topic of today, which is about absent healing, if we could just unite our thoughts just for a short time while I ask for a prayer for healing. Divine and infinite Spirit, in whom all things are found, the God of our own understanding, we unite our energies today in the art and the essence of healing, be it of the mind, the body, or the soul, be it given when channeled through spirit, or received through conversation, friendship, and community. It matters not. Healing acts on so many levels and is delivered in so many ways. And we here today, gathered here in this church, attest to that power and that knowledge, that we are all healers. We are all fellow travellers on this journey. And wherever we can, if we can aid, support and upliftment and friendship, all these energies are done in the essence of healing. So we ask that during this time together, that healing energies flow freely as they do from the centre of all creation, to be channeled through our healing mediums, both known and as yet unknown, to send out that love, that compassion, and that truth, that we are all loved and we all receive that which we need. So we place this day now in thine loving care and keeping, and thank you and honour your presence among us here today. Amen. So the topic for today, I just thought I'd give a little talk about absent healing, because that's quite a big part of our movement. How many people here have an absent healing book at home? Nice. Yep, quite a few people, which is wonderful. Absent healing is that time when we can just sit without that person or that destination we wish to send our healing out to, and just sit and send out those thoughts. We don't need that physical contact. We don't need these people in front of us. Also, as all healing energies, they are not limited to people. They can go out for the animal kingdom, for the environment, for the world, for our families that may be going through a little bit of a time, as all families do. It's just sitting and trusting and setting that intent, which is always a very key thing, whatever you do spiritually, is to set the intent. If I were to come up to you, Sue, and just stand in front of you and you go, what do I want? And I just stand there going, you can't help me because you don't know. However, if I stand in front of you and say, can you help me with this? You go, okay, I'll try my best and do that. That is exactly how we should approach our work with spirit. Spirit is intelligence. We must always remember this. Spirit is us without the body. And one day, that will be us without our bodies. It's intelligence. We state our intent. We reaffirm our affirmations. So for absent healing, we can just sit quietly or with music or however you choose. You know, nobody can tell you how to meditate. People can give you various disciplines and ways to try, but you will find your own level. But once you get into that energy, that time, that harmony and that union with spirit, it's just to say, you can say out loud. I wouldn't suggest you do this if you're sat on a bus. I can speak from personal experience. It gets you thrown off the bus. But anyway, you can just sit there quietly and just say to spirit, please help me send healing to, and just state your case. The art and the essence of working with spirit is simplicity. We often see great litanies and great big readings and flowing words and conjurings coming in, which work absolutely wonderful for some people. But for us, is simplicity. The simplest prayer, I always think, is please help them. You see somebody going through a bad time, you see somebody who's maybe helping somebody who's less able to get around, whatever the situation. Just sending out that prayer, please help them. And that is a really good example too of absent healing, because you're not going to get confined or construed into please help them too, and then set borders and boundaries on how you want that help. Just help them, because healing works on every single level, all of our bodies and more that we do not know of. Absent healing is absolutely no different. I often say in many cases, not all, but in many cases, an illness or a condition of the physical body is an echo of a deeper underlying issue going on. So whereas we may see somebody with X or Y condition of their physical body, not always, but often, that is not the cause of the distress, it is a symptom of the distress. We have a number of carers in here today, whether professionally or just doing it by duty and by family. Those of you I speak to now, you know yourselves that when you give and you're doing the support, you're doing everything you can for that person to uplift them and keep them going, keep them motivated. It's beautiful. What we tend to do as human beings is to give and give and give. And then when we're on our knees, we look up and give a little bit more. And we don't look after ourselves. And sooner or later, something will rebound. Something will happen to take us away from that energy of our physical bodies. That's an example of the echoes that go on through us and permeate everything about us. So we need to learn those disciplines too, of knowing when to give, and I'm number one in the queue for this, knowing when to receive also. But all these things can be achieved by absent healing. If we are unable to sit together as a group for whatever reason, we can sit at a time prearranged and still link in with that energy. Anyone doubting that, or anyone who has reservations with that, number one, yes, I fully know and I fully appreciate nothing beats physically being together. That is the key. Sometimes we can't, but we can link in energetically. And again, anybody having reservations about that, have a look at what's been going on online over the last 2 years, where people in, myself as an example, working with people in America, working with people in Germany, working with people further up in the Baltic states, and bringing through that evidence from spirit. I'm not sat in the room with them, we are connected by radio waves, but it works. And time again we see mediums demonstrating from all over the world demonstrating that same essence and power of spirit, that they're there. They are there. They don't need to be physically there. They are always there. So don't ever doubt your own powers. Don't ever doubt your abilities. Don't doubt spirit. All right? If they can send messages from one side of the world to the other, wow. Absolutely wow. Don't doubt them. Trust. But with the absent healing side, it is a beautiful art. It is absolutely beautiful. I don't know how many people saw our family gathering service here, but it was spoken of about the silent minute, which evolved during the Second World War, where everybody linked in at 9 a.m. each night. And this movement was started off by a very ardent spiritualist who went to Parliament and went to the King to ask permission to get this moving. And it was 1 minute of silence every night, marked by the chimes of Big Ben, where everybody who was able to and was aware of it sat there and sent out thoughts of peace. After the war, during interrogations of opposing forces, one member of the German elite said, "You had a greater power that we could not comprehend and we could not beat. I believe you called it the silent minute." We have to trust. That's an awesome story. I'm so pleased that I found that, because it was just so awesome. But again, it demonstrates. People may say, well, you know, yeah, you did that, however, the war was going that way anyway. The thing we need sometimes to temper our doubts with is we don't know what would have happened had that not happened. We asked for healing and, oh yeah, well they got better anyway because they were in hospital and everything. We don't know. We do not know and fully comprehend what would have happened had we not been engaged in that act of healing. So don't let yourself talk yourself out of it. Just be satisfied that you've set out your intent, you've set out your energy, you've set out that power, and healing is given in accord with the needs. We do have the occasions where we ask for healing, ask for healing, ask for healing, and wherever that healing is being directed, that person then passes to the higher life. We're human. We think we failed. Well, there is no failure. There is no failure working with spirit. There are only lessons. I'll recount a story of my mother and father visiting a lady of the church many years ago in hospital, every night in hospital, giving her healing. 7 nights on the trot, going up there dutifully, dispensing healing. The 8th night, turned up, a lady had passed, and the son was there, and bless his heart, he's bereft, he's just lost his mum. Had a go at me mum and dad, a lot of good your healing did, my mum's dead. A nurse on the ward had the understanding and the wherewithal just to pull mum and dad to one side and said, that lady had pancreatic cancer. That is one of the most painful cancers that you can have. That lady didn't even have an aspirin. If it's time, it's time. So our healing energies, our healing efforts are never wasted. And the thing that I hear time and time and time again from healers and people alike is, didn't work, they died, oh, I don't think it was me that made the difference. We self-doubt. Don't. Engage with the act. Allow yourself to immerse yourself into the energy. Go with that thought. Send it out. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to partake in that. And then just casually leave it to one side. You've done your part. And trust that whatever you do will have an effect. And one day in the sweet by and by, we will start to understand that deeper and better. Okay. Continuing on with that vein of absent healing, this is not only confined to things within the physical world. So often we can send healing out to those who have gone beyond at this time, to those who may be in need still of that upliftment, still in need of healing. And you may just think, well, how can you heal a spirit? Spirit is energy, we're energy. As we're learning now through the quantum side of spiritualism coming in, everything is energy, and energy follows thought. Everything is that energy basis. Nothing would not benefit by receiving healing thoughts. No matter where we are, spiritually, materially, physically, healing thoughts will benefit. Trust in that. So when we talk of thinking of healing for spirit, when we know people who have passed and maybe the passing was slightly traumatic, maybe the passing was, in our eyes, far too young, maybe that there was conditions to that passing. No passing is easy, but there may be conditions attached to it which bring out our sympathy, bring out our empathy. You can still send healing there. And I have heard evidential proof of, through other mediums, of giving that message, thank you for the healing that you sent me. And the person saying, well, I didn't do it until after they've passed, but it was acknowledged. You know, we have physical mind and everything's a little bit boxed in at times, so we need to just trust that these healing energies go. So today marks a very sad occasion here at Paul. One of our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people that come in and support us and have added to our family and brought in their talents, their techniques and their presence. Today is the anniversary of the passing of a husband of a lady here in spirit today. Absolute wonderful gentleman, beautiful man, and was taken from us during the last 2 years. So today is the anniversary. So I'd just like you all, just for a short, very short time. The gentleman's name is Christoph, and he was a fine, handsome, strong man. He is now in spirit. Of course, the heartache endures and continues on this side of life. But just for this short time, just to mark this day, just for literally 30 seconds, I'd like you to gently close your eyes and just hold that name. Just hold that name and send just love. You don't need to know them, see them. They're there. Just send that love. And now, as you gently return back to where you started, just take that knowledge and trust each and every one of you here and online at home have united just for that short time, just sending out that magnificent ray of energy, of healing, of upliftment, and trust too that it has been received. We may or may not get that confirmation here on this side of life, but one day we will all receive that and the gratitude attached to it as well. So absent healing is something we can all embrace. It's not limited. We don't limit it with our own fears, our own faults. We don't limit it by the proximity of these people. And we don't limit it by the proximity whether they are this side of life or the other side of life. It's a beautiful, wondrous, awesome gift to just allow yourself to go into that time, to send out that thoughts. And the one big truism with all things spiritual, as you give, so shall you receive. They are true, true words. What you give of yourself, you get back in other ways. Anybody got any questions? Anything they want to ask about either absent healing or healing in general? Please do, because, and please do never think that your question is stupid, because everybody in here, no matter what their stage of evolution is along the spiritual path, all started off by going, what does that mean? So don't ever think, oh, I can't answer that, I would look daft. You won't, because everybody is here because they all ask questions.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can, Ali.
Can healers recognise each other as healers without them saying, I'm healer?
Very true. I believe on many levels, yes. One healer will recognise somebody else who has a healing ability. I do know, actually working as an evidential medium, that when I'm working with somebody, so I got the link from Spirit, the person sat there, I will go, oh right, you are a healer, because it's just there. Yeah. It is just there. It's an understanding. And we do have resonance with people as well. Because often, when we talk about healers, or to be specific, the healing mediums who will practice their work in a while in this church, of having that understanding, that practice and that ongoing development to channeling through that energy, healers come in many shapes and forms. I know some people who go into areas and deal with groups of people who others would balk at. But they are healers, because they're going in to try and bring peace, to bring reconciliation. They are working, whether they know it or not, or accept it or not, or believe in it or not. They are receiving inspiration from Spirit side to maybe say the right phrase at the right time, or to contact the right person at the right time. I believe on that energy level, yes, and this is when we resonate with people. Some people go, oh, you're in my soul group. You know, you meet people and you're like, I've known you forever. Don't know you, but I've known you forever. We all react, we all resonate with people. Similarly, we meet people and go, oh, yes, thank you. Anyway, you just stay there and I'm going to move quite a long way over here. Same energies. Trust it. Trust it. Healing is unbound, but bringing into our understanding and our discipline today of those who work with spiritual healing and those who have gone through the process, as you will too, about learning to unfold that gift, I believe, yes, you do get a resonance. Even if you don't walk in and go, oh, you're a healer, you'll walk in, well, as we saw today, instant bond. Yeah, what is that instant bond? It's certainly a lot of books, not with him, but I jest. Don't hit me, he's bigger than me. It's not that, you just resonate with people and you feel comfortable. And that's really important, because especially, you know, over these last 2 years, we've been denied talking to people, but now we're getting this opportunity to talk to people on a soul level. And that is awesome. And I didn't plan it, it just happened and evolved, especially here at Paul, that you can come in here. We've got many different lives, haven't we? Your daughter, your carer, your wife, your ex, you do all these different things. But today, here, you're you. And everybody else around you is just you. And that's the level that we can talk to and talk on and talk about. And that is so nourishing, because we go out of this church, as we should do when we leave our churches and centres, feeling uplifted, feeling fulfilled. Because today and every time we are in this church or gathered in any assembly, anywhere, under any banner, we can be us. And that's powerful. That is really powerful. Thank you, Ali. I hope that's answered your question. Anybody else? Hello, Ted. Hello.
About 3 months ago, I had a feeling that I ought to think more about people I know that were ill. And
Yeah.
after the last 3 months, every day I've sent healing out to 3 people. One is my daughter who's got cancer. One is the wife of a friend of mine who's got leukemia. And to my granddaughter in France who's just had a very serious operation. I just sit there quietly for 5 minutes. And then I was told that Maria was going to have cataract operations.
Yeah.
And she was worried. She would be. I told her, having had two, I told her exactly what would happen. And look at her now.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a perfect example. Ted, you're not having a dig at your age. I would never do that. Only in jest and at a distance. Out of Cain's length. Ted, your spiritual path has been ongoing for quite a number of years with you and your darling lady in spirit. Yeah. You are immersing yourself in that environment. Yeah. So that link will just grow stronger and quicker and better and more subtler. This is what happens, you know. This is another thing. Nice point, thank you. Sometimes you think, well, I sit there for ages and I don't feel anything. Keep doing it. Do not give up. If I gave up every time I didn't feel spirit around me, I would probably be an alcoholic, I think. I think that would probably be my path. But anyway, you just keep at it and trusting in that. You're getting that wonderful convergence as well, where you were prompted to work with the living, which is beautiful, because my goodness, there is so much need for healing in this world. And you got that prompt, and you acted upon that prompt, and you continue with that prompt. So in and through your own mediumship, spirit are working. Ted is nothing special. I am nothing special. None of the healers are nothing special. We're just people making ourselves available to that source, to that energy, and entering in, trusting that healing will flow wherever, however it's needed. And it is as simple as that. And we don't need other people's validation as a healer. It is nice to hear somebody say, you know what, you gave me healing the other week, and since then I haven't had a pain. Yeah, our human side appreciates that. However, the journey of a healer can sometimes be very lonely, where you don't receive the validation, you don't receive the comments, you don't receive the feedback, but you keep doing it. And that's the beauty, that you keep doing it. Thank you, Ted. Anybody else?
I just wanted to make an observation, going back to your parents' experience. You know, when the gentleman said
Yeah.
you healed and you didn't help. I think you've got to appreciate the distinction between healing and curing. Healing is making a situation better. Healing is making it the best it can be. It's taking it forward. And the answer is not always that you cure someone. That's different. We haven't got that power. There's only one got that power. But it's important to remember that doing the healing left them pain-free, and that's a big thing. And at the end of it, if it's that person's time to go, maybe that was the best that it could be.
Yeah.
It's not
Very good.
Sometimes healing is not something that you can see, you've made a difference. It might just be that someone, because you've taken an interest, because you've shown your care, because you've spoken to them, is prompted to go somewhere else and something, maybe they never thought of going to a doctor, or maybe they never thought of doing so. It's not always obvious what the result of the healing is.
Yeah, indeed.
I agree with you. It's there.
Yeah.
It can never not be effective, even if we don't always see the results.
I'm finished. I don't want to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
I'm joking. You know that. You know my humour.
Yeah.
That is very, very true, and it rolls back down to the trust thing again. It really does. And yeah, we're human. I want to take away your pain. I want to take away your upset. I want to take away your sorrow. It's not my job to do that, because that is your path. I can do everything I can do to make that path as easy as possible, but I can't take it from you. Because I've always learned, with all the spirit teachings delving into the philosophical side, when you receive true philosophy from spirits much more advanced than we may be on earth, they never ever tell you, you mustn't do this and you mustn't do that, or you must do this. Everything is always a suggestion. Or have you thought about it this way? Or have you ever considered this? Because you realise that we are all here on our journey. We can help each other along, maybe support each other along the journey. But we all know, any parents here, have you tried dragging your children into doing something? And how much success have you had at that? Not a lot of shaking of head going on. Because we learn by our experience. And the journey's end is never there, because that journey continues as we know it, because the life between lives as well as the life here are all part and parcel of that. So yes, we can lend that support, we can bring about healing, we can bring about understanding, we can bring about compassion, comfort, relief, companionship, friendship. At the end of the day, the person who is receiving is the one who's given the strength to pull themselves back. Lovely. Anybody else? Brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed that short time, and I hope the whole purpose of these talks now is to promote questioning, to promote and engage everybody, to find out more. Anybody could stand up here saying, you must do this, you mustn't do that. Healers of different allegiances. I was talking the other night, you have to undergo however many years of training to be told you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that, you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that. To me, that's not an energy that I would like to be in. To me, that doesn't encourage growth. We've got wonderful healers here, many disciplines, many backgrounds, and it's beautiful. There are the basic tenets. There are the core tenets with healing. There are the areas where it is preferred you do not go into. Apart from that, unleash your talents. Let it grow, because this is what it's like. Life is movement, movement is life. And whenever we try and stifle that movement, it's a little bit like the Dutch boy at the dike. We end up doing that. So go with the flow. We will hand over now, say a fond farewell to our friends online, and now hand over to our wonderful healers. Thank you all.